bit of help with your vocal range. I'm going to show you a quick and easy way that anyone can do to move a song to a different key to fit your vocal range, even if you don't know what that means. So that song that's always been too high for you, just out of reach, or maybe even too low for you, maybe you have a high voice, we're going to solve that problem today. We're going to use an extension made for Google Chrome. So if you want to get more into the vocal ranges, actually, I'm making another video that really dives into my philosophy on vocal ranges and why it matters. But at the end of the day, as a singer, you're supposed to enjoy your singing. And maybe we're not sure what our vocal range is. Maybe we're not even aware of where the notes we sing sit on the piano, but we can tell if a song is too high or too low for us. So if you're struggling and straining, the best thing to do is probably move the key of the song and sing it in a different location, starting on a different pitch, either higher or lower than where the original recording you're listening to is sitting. So how do you do that? Especially if you don't even play an instrument. Some of you don't even know what a key is or what I even mean by that. If you're not familiar with music theory, maybe you don't play any other instruments, which, by the way, you really don't have to be a vocalist. It does help. If you wanted to pick one, I would recommend basic piano. But even if you know nothing, just know that you can start a melody of a song in different spots on the piano. So for example, Happy Birthday, I can go, Happy Birthday to you. Or I can start it at a different spot, a half step up, da da, happy birthday to you, or an entirely different spot on the piano. So you can sing a song, the same melody, starting on different notes at a higher or lower point on the piano scale. Today, I'm going to show you my hack to doing this. I do this with my vocal students and clients, and I use this tool myself. You want to use a Google Chrome extension. We're going to go over to the computer and check it out. I'm going to show you how to install it into your Chrome browser. This only works on desktop, unfortunately, but it's a fantastic tool. It does kind of warp the sound a little bit, but it's a fantastic tool. I think it's really going to open up a lot of options and enjoyment in singing for a lot of you. Let's go check it out. Hey, so here we are. We're going to install this does require you guys to have Chrome browser on your desktop computer, this tool that I'm going to show you, but I want to tell you that I'm not endorsed by this at all. I don't even know who makes this extension, so thank you to whoever made it. And I think there's actually a little way you can donate to them if you like it after you install it. I'll put this link here, but you could also just Google Transpose pitch speed Chrome extension. You'll find it. But I'm going to paste this link in the description below the video here so you can get at it easily. And then when you're using the Google Chrome browser on your desktop, it doesn't really work on mobile. I don't think you can add these extensions to mobile. But then right here it would say add to Chrome. I've already added it, so it says remove from Chrome, but just click it and say add to Chrome. When it adds to Chrome, it's going to show up here in your extensions. You can see some other extensions that I use, and it's this one right here, Transpose, Pitch, Speed, and Loop, and you click on it. Whatever video is open in your Chrome window here, you can transpose it up and down. It's very important to know the difference between transpose and pitch. Pitch is only going to adjust it a little sharper or flatter within the same key. You can see that you can pull it out to one semitone. You could raise it a half step or lower it a half step, but it's really because you're just trying to make it sharper or flatter in the same key. So this one is not really going to be what you guys want to use. You want to use this one up here, the transpose button. Every time you go up by a number, that is going up by a half step or one semitone. On a piano or guitar or something, we would call it a half step. Same thing if you lower it, you're lowering it, that's one half step, two half steps, three half steps, or three semitones. Either one is correct way to describe it, okay? So let's see it in action here. I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to, let's look up Spirit Box. Say I have a lower voice. Say I'm like a bass or a low voiced vocalist, maybe this song would be too high for me if I were a bass. So I'm going to go ahead and lower it. So wait, first, actually, let's listen to it in the original key so we can kind of hear where that sits.
Deepest fake, dirty gold, the colors change. Hands are frozen, feel no pain. I just wanna hold the flame. Negative feedback loop.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's go back and let's lower it now. 1, 2, 3. 3 semitones is only a step and a half. It's 3 half steps. So it's not that far, actually. So if you had a really, really low voice, you might have to go farther. Don't be afraid to really go far, because it's not as far as it seems. A lot of times I'm lowering things 6 semitones if it's sung by a soprano or something, which is about 3 whole steps. So sometimes if it's really, really different voice from yours, don't be afraid to really move it. It is going to make the voice sound a little funny. Not as much the instruments, but it does make things kind of sound funny. But it's great for practicing and for learning a song in a new key and for just exploring what key would you sing the song in. It's great for testing. So here we go. Let's hear it in this key.
Spinning out of control, the sickly sweetness is crushing me. But I wanna know if there's no heat when I escalate.
So in this case, they're already pretty down tuned, so the instruments sound a little bit funny as well. So, but what's really cool is you can take this, you can use this tool with karaoke stuff. So let's look up some karaoke. So these instrumental tracks on YouTube, I know that Alice in Chains is high for a lot of male vocalists. So what you can do is, again, you can lower it. Let's lower it far. Let's lower it 6 semitones, which is 3 steps. That'd be like tuning it from standard to drop C, which actually isn't that unrealistic. If you don't have a higher voice, you might want to do that with this material, but let's check it out. It's going to sound kind of funny. So in this key, it'd be kind of like, ain't found a way to kill me yet. Eyes burn with stinging sweat. That's too low for me. But you see, like if I were a baritone or something, that would actually work. So you can have a lot of fun with this, and you can say this song is too low. Say you have a really high voice. You're just going to raise it a few steps. You can hear how it can go higher too. So, up or down, whatever you need. This is what I recommend. It does warp it. So like, this is not the greatest tool in the world if you're looking for extremely high audio quality, because part of why it's warping it is in the past, when you raised or lowered the key, you were using tape, and so then when you change the pitch, the speed also changed. Now we have the technology where it's not changing the speed, it's just changing the pitch. You can change the speed down here. YouTube also has a way for you to change the speed right here. So but this will change the speed without changing the pitch. So it makes it sound a little bit warped, you guys. So just be aware that, this is a tool for practicing and performing and discovering your voice. But ultimately, if you find out that you like a song in a certain key, you're going to need to get together with some instrumentalists, maybe hire someone to make you a recording in that key. But at least you can describe it and say, okay, I'm actually performing it 3 semitones higher than the original, 3 half steps higher than the original. Either way you word it like that, the instrumentalist will likely be able to understand it, particularly if they're someone who's hired a lot to make accompaniments. And that's not that hard to actually go on Fiverr or something and find someone to make you an accompaniment in the key. So it's really nice because it really, really liberates your vocal abilities, and you can start learning songs in different keys and moving things to fit your voice without even knowing any music theory or playing any instruments. So thanks, guys. I hope you like it. And if you do like it, right here, it shows you that whoever made this, you can donate to them, and you should do that because this is an incredibly useful tool. But like I said, I have no stake in this. I don't know who made this or anything like that. So I'm not sponsored by this. It's just a great tool that I like to give my students and vocal clients. Thanks everybody for watching my tutorial. And if you're looking for lessons, I give full-time lessons on this on Zoom, singing and screaming, modern singing and harsh vocals. Whatever you're interested in learning, you can find more information about that in the links in my description below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Hey everybody, Mary Z here for Voice Hacks by Mary Z, answering a question that is so common. How do I practice screams or loud singing in my home environment? I live in an apartment. How can I dampen the noise? All right, well, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks in this video on how to set up a quiet area at home where you can rehearse without disturbing anybody. So if you live in an apartment or a shared building where you share walls with someone else, you want to try to find a closet that has the least amount of shared walls. Obviously if you live above somebody or below somebody, you always share the ceiling or the floor. But sometimes there are closets where it's only internal walls inside the apartment, not any neighboring walls, or it borders on the outside of the building. If you maybe know the floor plan of the adjacent apartment, hopefully if it shares a wall with the other apartment, try to pick the one where you know that there's also a closet on the other side. Okay, not someone's bedroom. Don't pick that closet, or perhaps their living room. Try to pick the one with the least amount of shared walls. Number two, what you want to do is start emptying that closet. Take some clothes out, buy some drawers, whatever you have to do to put in your room to store your clothes, but take a little bit of clothes out. Make space for yourself in there, enough for you to stand there and sing or scream comfortably. So make a space. That's number two. Number three is you're going to put some soundproofing in that space. So you could leave it half full of clothes once you've made enough room for yourself. That's a really great way to start dampening things. If you share a floor or a ceiling, you may want to dampen either the floor or the ceiling, depending on what you share. You could get blankets, you can get foam. Remember, we're not monitoring things, we're not mixing anything. You just really need it to be dead. So you want to just pad it with whatever you can afford. Fold some blankets up on the floor and stand on them. Hang a couple blankets up over the clothes rack if there's one in there that you've kind of emptied out. If you can make space to do it. And sound foam is cheap. Sometimes I tell people, subscribe to the Joanne Fabrics text coupons and then go over there and get a 50% off bag of foam or something, or some batting that goes in, inside the quilts, or some foam that they have. It'll be a little cheaper than sound foam. Put it on your walls, put it on the ceiling, dampen that area, dampen the door to the closet, put some of it on the back of that door, dampen the space. That's number three. Number four is make sure that when you're practicing, now you've got your dampened space, you've got your area, you shut all the doors and all the windows in your apartment. The door of the closet, the door of the room that the closet's in, any external doors that may be open, balcony doors, shut all your windows. A lot of noise is going to escape through the windows up into the neighbor's window. Same thing, do the living room windows, all of it. And that will start to dampen some of the noise. So then you want to do step five. Step five is create a lot of white noise. So by that, I mean turn on every fan in the house. So turn on the kitchen fan with the oven fan, even if it's across the room. It's going to put a noise buffer and cause some phase between you and the neighboring properties. Turn on the air conditioning fan full blast. Turn on little fans in the room right outside of your closet, okay, so to really deaden the noise. So create a lot of white noise, because many times you can't hear it through the white noise. And step number six is going to be, there are products you can actually buy. I don't have any corporate endorsements endorsements or anything. So I'm just mentioning these products because they happen to exist. They're the designs that exist. And if you've used any of them, I'd love for you to comment in the section below. Tell me how you feel about the products if you bought them. I had a couple students buy some of these things, so just let me know what you think about them. One of them is this thing called Isovox, like a booth that you can kind of put your head in, and it's supposed to isolate the sound. I've seen it at NAMM. It was really cool, so check that out. And then the other thing that I've seen is called a belt box, and it's like this device where you cup it onto your face and you can sing loudly. The only problem with the belt box would be that if you're new to singing and screaming, you may not actually hear what you're doing. It's really more for like a professional musician who needs to like kind of warm up in a hotel, who already understands what they sound like. So if you are new, you may not want something like that cupping your face. You may want something more like the one that goes around your head. And also too, there are like individual people around who build vocal booths, you know, that you can put in your house and stuff. So there's a lot of things available. It just depends kind of on your budget. So these are all things that I would recommend, and these have been my ways of isolating areas in the past and rehearsing very loudly and practicing very loudly and giving loud lessons without disturbing neighbors in shared properties. So thanks a whole lot, and don't forget to subscribe, share these videos, and let me know. Leave your comments. Thank you so much for following me and supporting me, and leave your comments of what you want me to answer your questions next. Leave your comments about what videos you want to see, and also don't forget that if you really need some lessons, I coach students all over the world every week via Skype and other video call platforms. So email me at voicehacks@gmail.com for lesson rates and scheduling, and maybe I can help you out. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you have a great Hey everybody, Mary Z back once again for Voice Hacks. So today I wanted to take a look at something that my students have they're probably actually really tired of hearing me yammer on about, and that is actually a couple of the vocalists from the TV show The Masked Singer. And I know you guys are probably like super confused because I usually focus on rock and heavy metal, but there are some amazing points I want to share with you that you can apply to any genre, particularly two of the singers. The two that we're going to take a look at today are Donny Osmond and Gladys Knight. I knew it was these two for several weeks, and I almost wanted to make this video before the show ended, but I just kind of didn't want to be that jerk with the spoilers. If you're not familiar with The Masked Singer and the concept of the show, basically you're trying to guess who the celebrity is. These are already people who are established celebrities in some way, but they do whittle it down week by week in order of how well they sing, basically. And so typically people like athletes and actors will get unmasked first. But there's a lot of really interesting professional things that the two oldest competitors really did. Their performances were just outstandingly professional. And the reason why it wowed me so much is because Gladys Knight is 74 and Donny Osmond is 62. So they were crushing everyone else on the show in a mask, in full heavy costume, doing something that's very athletic, also performing vocally nearly perfectly. What are some of the things we can learn from these two incredibly experienced performers? Let's take a look at these two singers. And what's great about these clips is that we actually get to hear the whole performance. They're not super long. So we're going to start with the Peacock, who was Donny Osmond. This performance obviously is before we knew it, but I picked my two favorite performances from this season for each singer. And what was great about this show is they were trying to get these older singers to do modern repertoire because they don't want you to be able to Google them previously covering an old hit or something like that. So it was really neat to see these people sing modern music exactly as professionally and awesomely as they would any one of their old hits or old songs. So here we're going to listen to Donny Osmond, the Peacock, performing Counting Stars, actually, by One Republic. So let's check it out here. I really loved this performance.
Lately I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be.
Wow.
But baby, I've been praying hard, said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yes, we'll be counting stars.
I feel like I know that voice. Broadway, I think.
I see this light like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line. In my face is flashing signs. Seek it out and we shall find the old. But I'm not that old.
Like Peacock Elvis.
But I'm not that old. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told.
His voice sounds younger.
I feel something so wrong. Doing the right thing. I could lie, could lie, could lie. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. Baby, I've been praying hard, sitting on my counting dollars, will become your star. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I've learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I've learned.
Okay, so that's where we're going to stop that one. What are the first things we want to take away from Donnie's performance? So the first thing I noticed as a voice teacher is, and this is something they do on American Idol. This is something that is a very professional thing to do, and I recommend you do this. They moved the key of the song to fit Donny Osmond's voice better. So the first thing I noticed was that they lowered the key a whole step. Now, I don't have perfect pitch, and even with all my experience, like I can't hear what note it is, but I just noticed that the song was sounded lower than the original. So I looked into it and I compared it with the original, way before I made the video, and I found out that they lowered the song a whole step because Donny Osmond is a baritone, and you can definitely hear that from his smooth tone. It's wonderful. I believe that if you added up all the hours that Donny Osmond has spent on stage, it's probably longer than I've been alive. So this is a person who is incredibly experienced. So why do they do that? Because that is always the better option. So he can nail the high notes. This song jumps octaves, so we want to be able to go up to those high notes on the part where he's like, those things. You want to be able to go up there without straining. And he did a great job. And so that was a wise choice to drop the key. One of the things that he and Gladys Knight, and we're going to get to Gladys in just a second, have in common is really, really strong, healthy vocal compression. Another big takeaway that you can see is that Donnie, more than Gladys, Donnie's moves a lot more. And largely that might be because Gladys really is 74. But Donnie's also an active performer in Las Vegas right now. Both our body and our voice can stay in relative shape as long as we remain active with both of them into our old age. Doctors will always tell you, as long as you stay active when you get older, you're more likely to continue to be active. You're less likely to go downhill. Even the vet says that about my dog, Old Chomp. We got to stay active. And look at how nimble and how fit Donny Osmond is. He moves around that stage in that heavy mask where they can't even really see that well, like he's 25 years old. He is a bit more of a theatrical performer. He kept referencing his experience with Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Broadway. That kind of style movement is what he's doing. And I want to show you that little pop is so powerful. So let's take a look here at that.
Everything that kills me makes me feel alive.
Killer execution of timing there, and that was entirely his decision. No one's choreographing this for the more experienced singers. And what is another incredible takeaway is that every night after the show, to keep up the ruse, he was actually flying from California back to Las Vegas to do his performance with his sister. He has a residency here. I live in Las Vegas. That was crazy that he was actually doing that. So this is a 62-year-old person wiping the floor with all of us. Let's take a look here now at Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight, 7 or more Grammys. Gladys Knight and the Pips. We know her from her legendary hits. The Midnight Train to Georgia is probably her most legendary hit. But this is a wonderful mezzo-soprano voice. And in this song, she actually covers Wrecking Ball. And this is actually in the original key because Miley Cyrus, I believe, is a mezzo-soprano. Gladys is unquestionably a mezzo. And so we're going to hear somebody with really good, strong, solid, powerful belting, singing in an appropriate key on a composition that's actually quite good for her. So let's take a look here at 74-year-old Gladys Knight kicking everybody's ass.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell
definitely Gladys Knight.
Spell of love, no one could deny. I can't live a
She knows how to sing, whoever she is. Patti
life.
LaBelle, possibly.
Will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never tried so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was let me, yeah, let me. I never meant to start a war. I just wanted you to let me in. I guess I should let you in. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always love you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never tried so hard in love. All I wanted was to break the walls.
She sounds amazing. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, you let me. Yeah, you let me.
Wow. And, you know, it was really hard for me to choose one from Gladys Knight because she gave performances on this season that I would honestly put in legendary category. Just that few minutes of her doing Miley Cyrus was an unbelievably legendary performance. So this is a person giving some of their most legendary performances in her 70s. You could also Google the other performances from her from this season. I really recommend when she did I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. It was just breathtaking. What are some huge things about Gladys Knight that we can take away? Fantastic belting technique. Not straining from her throat, letting her natural vibrato come in. Once again, singing a song that was already in a key that was appropriate for her. And the high notes were very reasonable for a mezzo-soprano belter, so she's able to consistently nail them. She's not trying, once again, to add high notes that aren't there, to go crazy. She's actually staying in her area of expertise, which is what you should do as a vocalist. This is why we learn about our ranges, not to limit us, so that we sing high notes that we can actually hit and that we can nail. So we give a nice, tight, solid performance. Another thing is although she lets a lot of her natural vibrato come in, she doesn't go overboard with it. She has great microphone technique. I don't know if you noticed at the end there, she went for the high belt note and she actually turned away from the mic for a second. So that was wonderful. You could actively see her doing some of that. We have two people that made it into the top 3 who were well over 50, who were not extremely high-voiced people, a baritone and a mezzo. And so I want to show you guys that it's all about technique. It's not about who can sing the highest note, who can sing the extremely lowest note. Even T-Pain, the guy who won the show, which I would love to do a video on him, but I wanted to pay kind of special attention to him. What we find from T-Pain also was he didn't deviate too far from his natural voice range. He's more of a tenor, but again, he wasn't wailing out of control. He was being conservative with his things and doing a beautiful job in the songs that he did do. So we'll talk about T-Pain at another time. So the last thing I wanted to say is at the end, Nick Cannon kept asking people like Gladys Knight and Donny Osmond, like, why would you do this? You have a Grammys, you've got all this fame, you literally have nothing else to achieve, you have no reason to do this. And they both just said, because they love it. And this is why we do music. It transcends beyond money, beyond fame, beyond success. And that's why you have to be in it for those reasons. If you expect to get to that point, it has to be pure love. You've got to love it till the day you die. And they both had some of the most fun in their entire lives. And even at their age, even after they fulfilled, Donny Osmond said he's literally fulfilled so many life dreams. And yet this was one of the funnest experiences he ever had in his entire life. So you never know where your musical journey is going to take you. Any age, go ahead and start, because people will just love you if you do a good job. They don't really care that much how old you are. Do a good job, sell it, give a good performance, and enjoy it. Love it, because that will transcend any financial success you ever get, anything. And it's for the love of the music, for the love of the art, and for the joy that they bring to the audience, which they both really appeared to love. So those are my huge takeaways from The Masked Singer. I don't care. I'm not a hater. I love this show, and I don't like other singing shows. So I recommend checking it out. Check out next season when you can actually follow it along in real time, and you don't and you can have the fun of not knowing who the people are. That's kind of exciting. And watch some of these performances. Thanks, everybody. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm always down to do wonderful analysis for you guys. I really appreciate all your comments and all your shares and all your wonderful feedback. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, I've got a couple Instagram accounts and our Facebook group. Everything's listed below in the description. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Don't you ever say, I just walked away. I will always love you.